Upasate Shraddhana Matparamaha Bhaktastetiva Me Priyaha. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Punatu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We mix up religion and morality. We think religion and morality are same. What we don't understand is morality is just the body. What gives life to that is religion. Take out religion, morality is just a dead one. It's a dead carcass. That's all. But we try to practice morality minus religion. What is that? What is ideology? Classic example for that. Moral, but minus religion. Communism, exactly. Has it produced any result? It's a failure model. Why it is a failure model? It's because we try to keep the dead alive. How long? See, have you seen when you go to a strange person's death? Stranger, you don't know that person. You go there and you sit and see what people talk. It's so interesting. Many of them close people to that person who's lying there. They come and say, doesn't look like he's dead. It looks like he's sleeping. To their eyes. But to your eyes, it's amply clear it's dead body. He's not sleeping. Have you ever been to any death like that? You don't go to your relative's death only. Not what to talk about stranger's death. You should have experience in life. It's so interesting. I had a chance to go. My father's friend, he passed away. So my father couldn't go because he had an accident, a fracture his leg. So he couldn't go. So he said, "Hey, someone should go. So you go." My father is a big figure, in their teachers' things. He's a gunda like. Not gunda, dada. Most respected. Respectable way of saying it. That's all. So when I went there, I said, "Oh, Sir's son has come, such a great reception for me. Special seat land they gave. What is a VIP seat? There is a death there. VIP seat is what? Next to the body. Now, I was feeling, very funny, actually. And you should know these tricks, okay? When you don't know, only it will be useful for her. She can't control her laughter. Many times she says, Sir, biggest problem is my laughter. I said, it's a blessing. Hardly we see people smiling nowadays. The lift we are standing there, 10 people come. Navagraha we have seen, there are 10 grahas there. All 10 look in 10 different directions. Dasharatha, you say, Rama's father's name. Because his ratha, his chariot can travel in 10 directions. Free visa. All 10 directions it can move. No one will stop. Free entry. In all directions. So that's why he is called as Dasharatha. Dasha means 10. Ratha is a chariot. His chariot can travel in 10 different directions. That I have heard. But I saw that. 10 people standing. Not a fellow will look at each other. I keep searching for some eye contact. And it is so interesting. They look at you, smile at them. You can literally feel inside, there is a jerk. They're smiling at me. Don't try that in the dead. When you go to death, there's a way of doing it. How to pretend that you are in sad position. The body language. You don't feel sad at all actually. Because what is the connection? I don't even know the man's name. Right? What do you do there? Very simple. Bend your head a little and upper lip. Even if you are smiling, it looks sad. All tricks. Lower lip, you don't try it. You won't look. It looks sad. Actually. I was sitting like that. And the person comes and says, he's looking like sleeping only. I said, to my eyes, it's very clear that he is. It's dead body. It's not live. He's not sleeping. He's gone. But it's so interesting. They can't see it. That is morality, remember. When you take religion out, that's morality. See, that's why we ask, even when you are inquiring, we don't ask when you are taking him to the crematorium. Inquiry itself will be what? When is a body going to be taken to crematorium? Not him or her. Yeah. Why? Because the person is gone. What is giving life? What is making it live? That is disappeared. That's religion, remember. When religion dies, reduces to the level of morality. The essential aspect should be religion. Is dharma. And today we have started keeping this word. Religion itself has become such a negative word. The 4-letter words are very normal for us. Okay. But to utter that word religion itself is like, you. You see, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. What are you? Dead body. Only thing is what? With the electrification, you can make it move. Like that, it is moving. That's about it. Don't understand what is religion. You don't understand what is spiritual, simply say, I am not religious, I am spiritual. You don't know both. It is not possible. Now, you can't have your own definition for words. Now, what I meant religion was all wrong things. In the world, when we use the word elephant, we mean elephant. Like, now, suddenly we cannot say, from now onwards, we have started using the word elephant to reference to mouse. Now, how can you do that? A rat is different, elephant is different. Same way, you can't have a definition of your own. Religion, the word derived from two Latin terms. Re legare means to unite back, means action, means verb. When you say I am not religious, you are saying what? I am not acting. There's no verb in my life. When there is no verb in your life, that means you are not acting. If you are not acting, what are you then? You are dead. Religion is not a noun, it's a verb, remember. Now we think religion to be noun. I'm not taking English class, huh? This is Vedanta class. I'm still speaking philosophy. Religion is taken out. The dead body is morality. The juice, the essence is religion, remember. If you forget that these qualities that we are discussing here is reference to the evolved individual, the man who is a bhakta, a religious person, a spiritual person. If you forget that and you try to take these qualities and study, it will look like ethics. A lot of people take these qualities to be talking about ethics. A lot of commentators I have seen. Bhagavad Gita talks ethics. I say, where did Gita spoke? In fact, what Krishna is saying is kill. That looks like ethics to you? No, no, no. What he is saying, all these qualities he gives, no. No. This is not ethics, please. Ethics is for local fellows. Those who are not religious talk ethics. Those who are religious live. Ethics is following them as shadow. It's a shadow of them. These 35 qualities is a shadow of a man of perfection, a spiritual person, remember. That is why I keep warning you. Every class I keep repeating this. Don't try to practice it. The best example for that is the quality that we are going to see now. Shami, forgiveness. What is forgive? I forgive. All of you must have used this word, no? Either asking or giving, isn't it? This is not a single person in this classroom I can think of. He wouldn't have used this word. If not verbal, at least mental. Huh? I forgive. 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 What is this forgiveness? How do you assess forgiveness? Now, for us, forgiveness means I see you do something, or you say something, you do something, and then I judge that as wrong. So, first, step one, I see your action. Step two, I say it's wrong. Step three is it's okay. isn't it? Wherever you have experienced, if at all you have experienced forgiveness in your life, you say is what? I saw behavior and then I judged it as wrong, not appropriate, it's not correct. Then I say it's okay. I pardon you for that. This is a forgiveness we know of, isn't it? And therefore, when we see that quality, a bhakta is one who is forgiving, immediately you will also say what? Appa, out of 35, I have one quality. You miserably fail. That's not forgiveness. What's the proof? That is not forgiveness. Because what should be the consequence of forgiveness should happen, isn't it? If the effect is not there, that means the cause is not there, isn't it? As simple as that. If there is no effect, that means there's no cause. You didn't call me, no, yesterday. I have not seen. You have called yesterday? It's not there in my mobile. Otherwise, it will be there, no? Missed call or received call. It's not there. Why? Why it is not there? Huh?
No calls.
Because you didn't call. Correct? ICICI Bank called. Why? It's there. Effect is there. Why? It is registered here that ICICI Bank called yesterday. I spoke to the person for 3 minutes. Yes. Why? Because the cause. What is the cause? They called. If there is a call, then it will get registered. If it is not registered, what does it mean? No call. As simple as that. No effect means no cause. Now, when we are going to be discussing about forgiveness, what should be the effect of forgiveness? What is effect? You forgive a person, let's say, you are forgiven. Of course, you are in a better position. Of course, you are a great soul. You are more evolved soul, as a result of which you forgive. Right? What should be the effect in that person?
He must repent and evolve.
He should?
Repent and evolve. Evolve.
He should evolve. He should not repent. If he repents, your forgiveness is not forgiveness at all, actually. He should grow. He should get transformed. If the transformation has not happened in the other person, that means forgiveness has not happened in you. Then what has happened in you?
Feeling of mentally freedom. Feeling that you are free from what?
Free from?
Free from guilty. You forgive.
No, I'm talking about a person who is forgiving. I'm forgiving you, let's say.
By forgiving somebody else, you feel as though you are free from the guilt.
Of?
You forgive because he has mistaken you. So when you say I forgive,
Correct.
you think that I have done my duty and I am mentally free.
I'm free.
But whether it
You don't bother about the other person at all, actually. Your whole focus is where? Exactly. Only on Abba. It's a burden on my head. Now I have kept that out. I feel relief. Now you tell me, who is in a better position? Him or me? Who feel? Carrying a burden. From where you experience a burden,
Judgment.
go back to the step. His action,
Judgment.
your judgment. Your judgment is where the whole problem is. You already concluded that he is wrong. The question we ask here is, who are you to conclude the action is wrong? Hmm?
Your ego.
Who is? According to my standards. I have certain standards. I have certain things. I have certain value systems. Right? If your actions are not matching my value systems, what will I say? You're wrong. Isn't it? Very simple. My values and your actions are not matching. Therefore, so what? How you should live your life?
According to
According to my value system, you should live your life. What will you say? Same thing, no? You will also say what? Ishwaran, you should live to my value systems. Fight. All fights is only because of what? Who is going to be matching? Now, forgiveness is a classic quality. Very subtle idea, not easy to follow and easy to misunderstand. Certain ideas you will not even understand. Okay, it doesn't matter. But certain qualities, you will believe that you have understood. One such quality is this forgiveness. Beware. One day, it's a fascinating episode we see in the New Testament. The book of John explains. No, not John. Matthew. It is Matthew. Christ was addressing the public, speaking to the general public. And then he was sitting there and having a chat. And all his students were around him, disciples were there, and the general public was there. The description was something fascinating. Beautiful description of the scene. Suddenly, a group of elders brought one lady and pushed her on the floor. And they said, we caught her committing adultery red hand. Red hand means in the act of adultery. I remember I asked my father, we used to have Bible class in our school. I didn't understand what is red hand. I didn't understand. Red hand, I said. Red hand, I thought, blood, all that, red hand, the blood alarm. I thought, what is that? Adultery also I didn't understand. And red hand, I was so worried about red hand. Red hand, red hand, in the act, when you are picking this example you gave me, when you are picking the pocket, the other person, if somebody catches you, that's called red hand. Another way of catching you is after the fellow screams in the bus, my purse is missing. So the driver doesn't stop the bus anywhere, straight it goes to the police station. And then they check one by one. They find that purse in your pocket. They catch you. That's not red hand. I said, Purujidi sir. Next, I didn't keep quiet. These fellows brought the lady. A lady cannot be committing adultery alone. There should be a man, no? Man inga. Still remember the father said, staff room la meet but he said, come to the staff room, I'll explain. That's my last interaction with him. Nowhere near. 1 week school, leave. How can, they brought the lady, they pushed her on the floor, And then, they're asking Christ. They post a famous question to Christ. We caught her committing adultery red hand. Now, the law of Moses says, thou shalt not commit adultery. That's the first law. So anyone who commits adultery should be stoned to death. This is the law. Now you keep talking about forgiveness. You tell us, should we stone her to death or forgive her? What to do now? Brilliant question. Huh? Now anything Christ says, he is caught. Isn't it? If he says, yeah, stone her to death, then immediately they'll say what? What about forgiveness? Huh? Suppose if he says forgive, they will immediately say what? See, he's talking against the law. Prosecute him. Anything he says, he is fixed now. Now, what these fellows didn't understand is, personality like Christ, you cannot, catch them. They are far, far above. The best scene is this. Right through, Christ was not even looking up. Okay? He didn't look up. He was scribbling the sand. He was scribbling something. He was simply, I don't know what he was scribbling there. They should have made a note of that, what he was writing there. He was scribbling something there. He didn't even look up. So they posed the question to him, to which he gave his famous reply. Let him cast the first stone who has never sinned. It's an amazing statement of his. Let him cast the first stone who has never sinned. Then rest can follow. Doesn't matter. And the most interesting part is the New Testament, Bible records. People started dispersing one by one. Right? Everybody left. After some time, there was a strange silence. After a period of time, he looks up. Nobody was there, including his disciples also. Everybody left. No one was there. Mary Magdalene and Christ. She was there. He looked at her. Nobody threw stone. Because the only fellow qualified to throw stone is who? Christ. And he's not going to throw. Right. Let him cast the first stone. Then rest can follow. He said, first stone is not there now. Where is the rest? One is not there. Where is two? Yes, nothing doing. Yes. What are you doing? Go, he said. No. What are you doing here? And she was profusely in tears. She was crying. He said, what are you crying for? Go. Yeah, please forgive me. He says, look here, if you believe that you have done wrong, don't repeat. Go. And Thomas, his disciple, was standing in the corner and checking out. From a distance, he was checking whether who is this man to give that forgiveness. He could sense Thomas there. That's the time he said, it's not me that's saving you, it's your faith. Go. No lecture, nothing. This is forgiveness. Remember. Yeah. Classic act of forgiveness. And the best part is, when Christ was put on cross, none of his disciples were around him. It's only Mary Magdalene, her sister, and Christ's mother, Mary. Only three of them stood by Christ. No one, none of his, all of them rejected. Peter said, "No, I will not do that." He said, but Christ said, "You will deny me before the cock crows in the morning, thrice." Third time he denied Christ. The cock crew there. Oh my God. What a vision that man must be. He knows exactly what it is. Who stood by Christ? This lady stood by Christ. That's transformation. From where to where she moved. What a great episode of transformation of the person. That is forgiveness. Now, if you want to correct anyone, remember, you have to create a climate for correction. Without a conducive climate, like you should sow the seed in the proper climate, isn't it? Just the rain comes, you sow the seeds. You need that proper climate for the produce to grow. You don't do that in April. In the month of April, you go and sow the seeds. What will happen? Nothing will come. Your seeds also will die. If you want to correct somebody, you have to create a climate. What creates the climate is forgiveness. When you forgive a person, when you are in that state of forgiveness, that forgiveness makes them available. Remember. Otherwise, imagine Christ would have started giving a lecture to her after everybody leaves. You know, adultery is wrong. You know what Moses said. You know what all the ill effects of this, what all this, what all that. If you'd have started, finished. This is what happens. The moment you see that, immediately you judge and you jump into correction. See, the moment you start attempting to correct from the judgmental attitude, there is no right climate because the other party is not available. When they are not available, what will they do? They will start immediately defense. She will immediately say what? You know Christ, poverty. I was starving. Or she will say, you know, my father was such a drunkard fellow who sold me. The society is so correct. Something she will say. So I am actually a victim. Therefore, what? My actions are fully justified. So once they start defending their actions, there is a possibility of correction. So if at all you want someone to be corrected, first thing you have to do is what? Forgive. Forgiveness is what then, sir? Forgiveness is a simple, sympathetic understanding about the helplessness of the other person. That's it. It's a sympathetic understanding of helplessness. Helplessly they operate according to their backdrop, their desires, their vasanas, their upbringing, whatever you call. They are simply helpless. As I am helplessly operating according to my background. I have a background. I have been brought up in the backdrop of vegetarian. Wherever I go, vegetarian. In my house, vegetarian. I go to my uncle's house, vegetarian. Aunt's house, vegetarian. Neighbor house, vegetarian. Friend house, vegetarian. Wherever I go, vegetarian, 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 vegetarian. Therefore, when I go to Toronto, I will ask for what? Saravana Bhavan irukka? Sorry, MTR. Is there MTR here? Brahmins tatte idli will you get? They'll say, yes, there is one place they give. You drive for 50 kilometers. So for you to have that one plate of idli, Once in your lifetime, that fellow has to build a hotel there. The meaning in that. And we say what? See, pizzas, burgers are very bad. There are fellows eating that and surviving. What is your problem? Ah, as vegetarian, non-vegetarian. And then non-vegetarian fellow will talk about vegetarian. Why? Is we simply don't understand exactly as I am a victim of my past. He is a victim of his past. Remember, this is an attitude, not action. That doesn't mean you encourage all wrong things, please. That is why first thing I said, if you are not connecting this with that spiritual touch, it will reduce itself to morality. Further deterioration is law. Highest is religion. First deterioration, moral. Lower than that is what? Legal. Legally correct, sir. There are countries where legally even drugs are allowed. You can grow in your garden like you grow, no? Vegetables. Like that, you can grow weed there and use it. Therefore, it is correct, is it? Why? It's legal, no? Remember, anywhere you come down to the level of law, that means lowest. There's nothing lower than that. Now, we are talking about this highest position. So, if you don't understand that, you will not be able to provide that conducive environment for the other person to reflect back, to make the other person reflect. How do you do that, sir? You should be standing there without any judgment. That non-judgmental eye is needed. You see, when you start judging, I see wrong, and when I see you committing that mistake, I pounce on you, tear you apart. But when I commit that same mistake, what do I do? When you do that mistake, when you do something wrong, how harsh I come on you. Vis-a-vis, when I see my mistakes, very rarely we see, okay? Wherever you have seen your mistakes, how you treated that. When you see others' mistake, you become a judge. When you see your mistakes, you become a lawyer. Yeah. You start defending. That's what, I'm also having certain weaknesses. You should hang yourself when you say that, when you make that statement. Do you say the same thing when you see somebody else? And the tragic part of it is, who you talk is the close ones. Is the tragedy. You see a child, I keep seeing every day in my apartment. A child, plays. He's playing and he is fallen. What should be the reaction of the mother? Ideally speaking, run and take it and check, is it okay? 9 out of 10 times, the mother goes and gives one whack. Isn't it? You do that? Not yet. Fatal won't give. What is she doing actually? Why she is hitting the child? And you ask her, why did you do that? She'll say what? I'm teaching him. I'm correcting him. As it is, it has fallen. As it is, the fellow has dropped the cup and it is broken to pieces and he is scared. The sound, falls. The sound, they get a shock. As it is, he is in the jerk, he is in the shock. And then you also go and add to that, or you're supposed to go there and make him feel comfortable. Hey, don't move, stand there. If you move, you can step on that. I'll come. Wait, wait, wait. Don't move. Don't move. You rush. In that process, you may get a bruise here, a bruise there also. Maybe you will get cut. But you don't go and give one to the child. Then why she is giving it? Huh? You understand why she is giving? You have not seen? At least you can imagine the scenario, no? What already fallen? அப்புறம் என்ன fear? Before falling, there is a fear. First of all, you don't teach the child how to climb the tree properly because you don't know. Right? At least you should have the humility to say that I don't know. Right? That also you can't say. So, you don't teach the child. And the child is learning by itself. In that process, there is a chance of the fellow falling. They fall. As it is, he is crying. Says what? I told you. You heard this? I told you to be careful. I told you to be careful. That means what? I told you to be careful, you didn't listen to me. So the anger is where? I don't care about the child. Point is what? You didn't heed my words. For that, you should be getting double punishment. For not heeding your words, it has already got the punishment number one. What? Fell. Okay. Now, you are giving one more to that. And then that mother genuinely thinks what? She is doing it for the good of the child. Not good. That doesn't mean immediately when the child is taking a knife and playing, you say, it's okay, keep playing. All that. You should know when to interfere. But more than how to interfere and all those things, from which position you have to operate. That's what Kshami is all about. If you are not coming from this position of forgiving, you are creating the other person to start defending themselves. Those who cannot defend openly will defend how? Secret. Mentally. You see, sometimes, other person may not be. Like your driver. If you scold your driver, what he can do? He can't do anything. Hey, go slow, 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 slow. Take left, 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 left. Take right, right, right. And he will behave as though, whatever you are saying, he will do. Externally. But internally, what he is thinking about you? This fellow, if you want to drive, you drive, man. Mentally, he is doing what? Mentally, he is resisting to you. You see, once that other person starts resisting you mentally, is not available for any course corrections. But then you keep claiming what? I am doing all this only to correct you. I am doing all this only to teach you. I am doing all this. First of all, the person is not even available. So first step should be what? To make the other person available for correction. What gives that? What provides that possibility? Forgiveness. Example, Mary Magdalene. Don't say Christ. Christ is not the example. Mary Magdalene is the example of forgiveness. because of the transformation. So the test of your forgiveness is transformation of the other person. If the other person is not getting transformed, forgiveness is not there in you. So first forgive, he says. Next quality. Verse 14.
सततं योगी आत्मा दृढनिश्चयः
मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः
मद्भक्तः
समे प्रियः सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः यो मद्भक्तः समे प्रियः. Ever perfectly content. Yogi, uniting with self, self-controlled, having firm conviction, with mind and intellect dedicated to me. He, my devotee, is dear to me. It's another beautiful statement. Yoma Bhaktas Me Priya is to me. He, Sa, is dear, Priya. Who? That Bhakta. Which Bhakta? The Bhakta who is having this 35 qualities. Another beautiful quality he gives here. Santushta Satatam Yogi. The yogi means the one who is following the path. The one who is in the path to perfection. The one who never loses the sight of God. The sight of the goal of evolution, realization. He is called a Bhakta. Remember. So yogi is not the one who is doing yoga, asanas. That's not the context here. In the Gita, when he uses the word yogi, it is referring to the person who is in the path or who has already attained. In two terms, he uses the word yogi. In one context, the one who is in the path, other one who has arrived. So both he calls as yogi. So one is this yogi, is here, he is referring to the person who is on the path to union with God. He is called a Bhakta, the one who is aspiring to get united with God. That's a Bhakta. So he says, such a Bhakta, who? The one who is Satatam, always. Santushta. Tushtaha, Tushti means contented. Santushtaha means wherever there is that sam is used, prefixed. You should understand it is perfect, absolute. In absolute terms, he is completely, perfectly contented. When? Always. That's a catch. We also experience tushti, contentment. But is it perfect? It's not perfect. It is imperfect. Is it always? No, not always. Sometimes. So we have imperfect contentment and limited, rarely experiencing that. Whereas a bhakta is one who experiences that all the time, not occasionally. Not an occasional experience of, we also have that occasional experience of contentment, isn't it? So first you need to understand what is the meaning of contentment first. So do you say, sir, I am contented? What's the meaning of that? We also use, no? Whenever we use the term contentment, I'm happy with whatever, contented. Sir. So you are also a bhakta. You are far from that. Why? Is because contentment, we understand. Our concept of contentment is I have few things with me. Okay? I have X, Y, Z, Q, P, R, this. I have few things with me. The things that I have with me should remain with me. I don't want anything more to be added to that. But whatever is remaining with me should not be taken away from me. Isn't it? You're all with me? You're able to follow what I'm saying? I have a house, I have a car, I have a bike, I have a TV, I have a fridge, I have this, I have all those things. I don't want a bigger car. I don't want to have a bigger house. I don't want to. But the small car that I have should continue to be with me. If something were to happen to that car, what will happen? Sleepless night. Isn't it? This is not contentment, please. This is resignation. It's a mental resignation. That's all. This is what Vedanta calls it as pig's contentment. It's a pig's contentment. When you say, that's why we say in Vedanta, there's no such thing called retirement. See, the concept of retirement was not there in this country. You know that? There's no concept of retirement. This idea of retirement came into picture after the British. Before British, there's no concept of retirement in this country. You become incapacitated to function. That is different. Because of bodily wear and tear. Body has its own, you see. You lose your power to function. That is there. But no idea of retirement. That's all, sir. Now I am retired. What are you doing then? Attending your class. The tragedy. First tragedy, retirement. Second tragedy, class. What is this idea? You're contented, we say. The real contentment is even if whatever I have were to be taken out of me, the tushti never goes. That remains the same. I don't go off balance. Nothing big actually. Just that, a little depreciation of value of your land is enough. You're finished. You will die of heart attack. You know that we had this idea of this international airport. In between, there suddenly a rumor came. They dropped this idea of building an airport. You remember? The early 2000, suddenly one rumor came. And the land prices and all crashed overnight. Because the moment they announced this international airport is going to come, the value shot up like anything. The moment they heard that this project dropped and they are going to continue with HAL airport, and they are discussing with the army defense to extend it for another 25 years. Suddenly crashed. Still remember the papers I saw. People that it is crash. What happens? One thing of yours is taken out. You collapse. Even if everything is taken out of you, nothing happens to a bhakta. It's amazing quality. See, you people know the story of Sudama, no? Sudama, Krishna, Sudama took and gave this 3 handful of puff rice, and Krishna gave him opulence. He showered wealth on Sudama to such an extent. Sudama became slightly richer than Kubera. Right? You know Kubera, no? Kubera. Kubera is not lord of wealth. Okay. Kubera is the richest man. That's about it. In this kalpa, he got the boon. In this kalpa, all time richest will be Kubera. He is a brother, cousin of Ravana. He is the one who built that Sri Lanka. Lanka was his. Ravana chased that fellow out and he took over Lanka. Ravana did not build Lanka. You see, Kubera had it. And all that this fellow did was chase that Kubera out and he took over. That's about it. Such a wealthy fellow. Because he has got the boon from goddess Lakshmi. That Kubera will be the wealthiest ever, all time. We have Forbes list, no? Always Kubera number 1. It's permanent seat for him. All debates will be only from 2. Suddenly now, what Krishna has done was he gave an exception to the rule and made Sudama richest. And Kubera could not, digest it. He said, no, this is illegal. It's not according to law. You see, as per law, I am the one who's supposed to be. Suddenly, it is done. So, Kubera goes to Sudama's house to confiscate his wealth. Sudama is what? He's just a simple Brahmin. If Ravana comes, Kubera will run. Right? In front of Sudama, Kubera is bigger, no? So he comes and confiscates. Krishna gets to know the news. Right? And Krishna comes in the form of a Brahmin, protesting. You can't take the wealth given by Krishna to him. Sudama says, that fellow is such a conjuice fellow. If he wants to take, let him take. No, what's your problem, man? Yes. And finally, Sudama, this fellow is protesting so much. Sudama gets so wild. With whom? Not with Kubera. Huh? He goes and takes a rope and ties that Brahmin and holds him and says, now, Kubera, you are free. You can take whatever you want. And Kubera goes and takes. That is the time Krishna again. This is Krishna's life. Huh? Anything, anybody, he will show Vishwarupa. Fine, he will grow everywhere. On the side, what Vishwarupa he took. You are daring to take. Sudama, fascinating statement of Sudama. Before that, where there's a Brahmin, there's an argument goes on between Sudama and the Brahmin. Sudama says, see, this Kubera fellow is such an idiot. He doesn't understand. Because my wealth is not the gold, the palace, the jewels. This is not. Then what is it? I have Krishna with me. Huh? 10 Kuberas he will buy. This fellow doesn't understand. Instead of coming to me and asking me to bring Krishna to be befriend, he is asking me about this wealth. Take it, man. I have Krishna with me. What is your problem? Let him take whatever he wants. I have no issues. In fact, it's a nuisance value for me. This is what our, this, what do you call this man? Navakoti Narayana was his name, earlier name. Narayana was his name actually. And he had this 9 crores. Who? Purandaradasa. Purandaradasa, you remember. I remember only Navakoti Narayana. Such a conjuice fellow. Suddenly he transformed. I said, all wealth, leave it and go. To which his wife says, very interesting statement of his wife. In fact, it is his wife who is the cause of his transformation. And somehow this is the ruler. I don't know why. In the Shastra, I have not seen a single scene where a husband is a cause of the transformation of a wife. Never it has happened. Always it is the wife who has caused the transformation. Everywhere. Strange one. But then we say the scriptures were against, women. Say, read it properly. Man. After he says, leave all this. There's no point about this wealth. Let's go. He says, this lady tells him, I understand your renunciation. You are not bothered about all this. But then distribute it and go now. Huh? You have 9 crores there. Distribute now properly and go. To which Purandaradasa, he says, yes, he hasn't got that name yet. Okay, he's still Narayana only. He says, idiot. When you take your garbage and throw the street, will you be standing there watching who is taking what? It's a garbage. As far as you're concerned, it's a garbage. When you throw a garbage, will you see who's taking? Whoever wants, let them take. It's a garbage. Doesn't make any difference. All that you have can be deleted, but still you will have what? Perfect contentment. How? A bhakta is ever perfectly content. How? Because he had the fountainhead. The source of everything is there within his grasp. When he has all that, what is the problem? Therefore, his mind is not disturbed at all. His mind is calm. Whatever comes, he accepts. Whatever is taken out, also, whatever comes, he accepts. No complaint. No matter what comes, he is accepted. No matter what is taken out of him, is also his doesn't bother. Why? Because what gives him that strength, the source of strength is not in the presence of the frills, the things around him. It is Krishna who gives strength to Sudama, whether there is wealth around him or poverty around him. That's a bhakta. Now, Kubera is not having that. Kubera can have that strength only if there is wealth around him. You take out wealth, he is finished. He collapses. He can't survive. Whereas Sudama can survive. That's the story. Ever perfectly content. Now, whatever contentment you have, you got to figure it out. What type of contentment you are experiencing. You see, suppose if that is taken out of you, what will happen? That relationship plucked out of you, what will happen to you? That object plucked out of you, what will happen to you? And genuinely you believe that will not happen to me. Only that hope is making you progress, move. You drop that hope, you collapse. So he says, contented man is one who is not experiencing that occasionally. It is ever, always contented. We have seen two qualities today: forgiveness and contentment. We'll see you next class.